In 2010, ex-para-Olympian George Tonner formed the New South Wales Physical Disability Rugby League Association. Now anyone with a physical disability can play.
February 2003, Gary was with his sister and two other friends, and one of his friends threw a tennis ball and he chased it out onto the road and he got hit by a car. Car hit him at 80 k's, flung him 200 metres up the road. He was deeply unconscious. He was given a 20% chance of survival. He was in a coma for 7 weeks. Doctor said he'd wake up a vegetable, but he didn't. And we've basically, since he's come out of the coma, had to teach him everything all over again.
Gary was in the under-16s representative side for Parramatta before the accident. His dream was to play football again. Rachel Kingy couldn't believe it when she saw a flyer for Disability Rugby League.
Football, I love so much. Wow.
He's got a real bad...
Being a disabled person, you don't tend to be involved in sport that much because it's an able-bodied sport, and I suppose when you have trouble with your size and your disability, you think you're not part of a team.
I think it's important.
From the start, there has been two aims. The first is to grow the competition, so there is the constant hunt for new players. The second is for exposure, so everybody out there knows just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't play rugby league.
Alex said, I'd like to meet someone else with my disability around my age. You know, just talk with them. He just thought this is a dream.
Alex died during labour. Subsequently, Mrs. Ma was told Alex would never walk or talk. He trains at Ian Thorpe Aquatic Centre 5 days a week.
I really want to play footy. And so my mum checked and checked, and I couldn't find football team. Then one day I come home from work, and Josh Turner, and he said he talked to my mum. He said, "How about come down one training day?" I said, "Day."
Alex.
This is Alex.
Yay! Good job, mate.
No worries.
Thank you so much, Chris.
All good.
I'll never forget this.
Well done. Keep going.
A top guy. You're a top guy. Thank you so much.
Keep going hard, eh?
I'll care for you.
Another one of my goals is to actually develop an Indigenous all-star team for the disabilities, and I'm going to be approaching the various Indigenous leaders of rugby league and to say that I have this concept to include Indigenous population, because I know how important rugby league is to the Indigenous communities.
The concept of
my life, if I didn't have a disability, well, if you had asked me 23 years ago, I would have said, I would have hated being disabled. But I have a love-hate relationship with it, and I realise now that if I didn't have my disability, I wouldn't have met the people that I have.
The world is his oyster. He can do anything. He sets his mind to. And if he doesn't know how, he just needs to learn how and then do it.
And a big round of applause for Big Al there, Manly's #1 supporter. Looked all right too with the footy boots on. And scored a try as well. What more could you want in a big day out of rookie?
Today is a big game and a big day. The Outlaws and Stingrays are playing at the half-time break between the Sea Eagles and the Raiders at Fortress Brookie. An NRL crowd of over 15,000 will watch.
Now the Outlaws are in black here, and the Stingrays in blue.
Does Bruce Lee
Evident due to the fact that